Hello, everyone. Dr. Chris Martinson of Peak Prosperity here to talk with you about, well, almost anything. You know, we talk about a lot of different things in the context of this ever-changing world. Sometimes we talk about health and science, and sometimes we talk about policy and money and energy, and sometimes it's insects that are no longer appearing on our windshields. We talk about all of it because everything connects to everything else, and that's the world we live in. So as I join these dots for you, today I'm interested in this idea of what's going on with central bank digital currencies. They've been popping up a lot lately. So let's see where we are in this story. And this is kind of fascinating. Riots have been reported as breaking out in Nigerian cities amid a cash scarcity. This is from February 15th. Quote, rioters attacked bank ATMs. They blocked roads in 3 Nigerian cities on Wednesday as anger spilled out on the streets over a scarcity of cash. Nigeria has been struggling with a shortage in physical cash since the central bank began to swap old bills of the local Naira currency for new ones, leading to a shortfall. It's just a little printing snafu. That's the official story. What is the closer story, would we suppose? We're getting a little closer to the truth here, where Bitcoin Magazine is reporting just in, Nigerians revolt at the central bank after it declared old currency notes were no longer legal tender. It's not just a shortage of cash, it's that the central bank said those old notes you have, those old ones, they're no good. But oops, we don't have new ones ready for you. Now, why would they do that? Seems like just bad planning. Maybe it's just bad Nigerian planning. Or it could be related to this, which is an article here out of the Cato Institute, December 19th, 2022, saying, quote, faced with dismal adoption rates of its central bank digital currency, or a CBDC, the Central Bank of Nigeria has restricted cash withdrawals to push citizens into using its CBDC. Unfortunately, these restrictions are just one of many risks that these guys had surfaced. Quote, Nigeria launched its CBDC, the e-Naira, in the fall of 2021, but few Nigerians have been eager to use it. Current estimates suggest that less than 0.5% of Nigerians are using the CBDC. To put that number into perspective, more than 50% of Nigerians use cryptocurrency, in green. When it comes to increasing the popularity of a product, the private sector usually only has so many options. For instance, their product itself could be improved, or the price could be discounted. To their credit, the Central Bank of Nigeria has tried both options, but they still weren't successful. So now they're trying the other one, which is to force cash out of the system. And then you saw people are without cash and they can't conduct their lives and their livelihoods, and they're getting a little restive about this. So the people of Nigeria have kind of said, no thank you to that whole thing. Guess what? Not super popular elsewhere. Protesters just marched through the streets of Amsterdam to protest against the launch of the central bank digital currency in the Netherlands. Oh, those poor people in the Netherlands. What happened to their farmers, etc. They're just getting crushed by the state, the nanny state coming hard on them. The protesters argued that the digital currency is a threat to their privacy. Talk about that in just a second. Nick Corbishley is writing here on February 16th, why should the rest of the world care? Because unless stopped in its tracks, this monetary experiment is coming to all of us one way or the other. According to the Atlantic Council CBDC tracker, 114 countries representing over 95% of global GDP are exploring a CBDC. Now, again, why? What's the problem? Why should you care? Because these CBDCs, they're going to be programmable, okay? This is back from 2021. I reported on this for my followers, back in 2022 sometime. Quote, Tom Mutton, a director of the Bank of England, said during a conference on Monday that programming could become a key feature of any future central bank digital currency in which the money would be programmed to be released only when something happened. He said you could introduce programmability. What happens if one of the participants in a transaction puts a restriction on a future use of money? I don't know, a grandparent gives money to a grandchild and says, but you can't spend it on these things that they select off of a list, video games or things like that. But what happens if the company tells you you can't spend the money anywhere except in the company store? What if you live in Canada, that great communist country, and your government doesn't like you protesting legally, and so they decide to turn off, deprogram your money? So this programmability is a big, big deal. Carrying on, this guy Tom Mutton said, quote, there could be There could be some socially beneficial outcomes from that, preventing activity which is seen to be socially harmful in some way. But at the same time, it could be a restriction on people's freedoms. Could be. No. History says will be. The benefits will be few and the controls will be many. And so the way I look at this now is central bank digital currencies are digital corrals. You get ring-fenced. They may only operate within a certain number of kilometers or miles from your home. Otherwise, your money's no good here. Your 15-minute city just became, they don't even have to put bollards and barriers up. They just program your money and your phone so that it only works within your 15-minute city. This is about digital corralling people. So again, a digital currency, they say here in this article, could make payments faster, cheaper, safer, but also anything before the but, just ignore it. But also opens up new technological possibilities, including programming, effectively allowing a party in a transaction, such as a state or an employer, to control how the money is spent by the recipient. Potential use could be control over benefit payments, they said. Programmed digital currency could have a goal of restricting the recipient to buying only essentials, such as food or maybe certain types of food, etc. Quote, a Treasury spokesman said, programmability is a potential feature of a central bank digital currency, and therefore, what do we know about it? It's a political decision, not a monetary decision. Somebody has to make this decision, and the politicians are invariably, especially the WEF installed politicians. Those are the Trudeaus, formerly Jacinda Ardern. That's the Mark Rutte out of the Netherlands. These people are highly, highly, highly interested in controlling your lives, citizens, right? And they want you to do what they say when they say it because they said so. They don't care for any pushback. They don't want any free thinking. All of that. A central bank digital currency is something that has to be resisted if you want to have any shred of freedom left in your life or those of your children. So follow the issue. Don't let it float below your radar. It's really important. All right. Thanks for listening. Remember, come by Peak Prosperity if you like these kinds of conversations, you want to learn more, and you want to join an incredible tribe of people who think this way. We'd love to see you there. Thanks again. Bye-bye.